trains are very late. You know the trains are very late?
No, we know. What?
The trains are late, 20 minutes delayed.
Okay, thank you everybody for being here. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order, November 25th. Could we have the roll, please?
Sure. Trustee Clark?
Here.
Trustee Column?
Here.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Here.
Trustee Levison?
Present.
Trustee Rosner?
Here.
Trustee Schnall?
Here.
Village President Torpe?
Here.
Barry Lewis, Village Administrator. Stephen Rother, Village Council. Adam Lerner, Deputy Village Administrator. And myself, Chanel Smith,
Nice.
Acting Village Clerk. Adequate notice of this meeting have been provided to the press in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:4-6. In addition, notice of this meeting was posted in the Village Hall and the Village's website, and on the Village's website, and has been filed in the office of the Village Clerk. Official action may be taken.
Thank you. We have one resolution to go into executive session.
I move.
Resolution
Hold on.
2013-269. A resolution authorizing an executive session at the November 25th, 2013 meeting of the Board of Trustees.
The items that we have for executive session is the Irvington Ave Committee, which is personnel, Jersey Animal Coalition, which is litigation and attorney-client privilege, Fire Department promotions, which is personnel, and statutory board appointments, which is personnel. Do I have a motion? Moved by Trustee Levison.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Schnall. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? All right, we're back here at 8 o'clock. Thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'd like to call this meeting back to order. Could we please have the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Here.
Trustee Collin?
Here.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Here.
Trustee Levison?
Present.
Trustee Rosner?
Here.
Trustee Schnall?
Here.
Village President Turpie?
Here.
Barry Lewis, Village Administrator, Steve Rother, Village Council, Adam Lerner, Deputy Village Administrator, and myself, Chanel Smith, Acting Village Clerk.
Thank you. Everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stay standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, before we get started, we do have a couple announcements this evening. Just a reminder, just one last reminder that Village Hall offices have moved to 76 South Orange Ave, right across the street, third floor in the PNC Bank building. We will be there while Village Hall is being renovated. There is an electronics recycling day. The next one is December 14th at our DPW, 300 Walton Ave. Make sure to bring down a proof of residency. It's only for residents, not for commercial vehicles. Leaf pickup is happening now. If you're interested in seeing when your street is being picked up, you can go to southorange.org/leaf collection. You can also call the county if you live on a county road for more information at 973-239-3366. The Parking Authority permit renewal process is starting December 2nd and going through January 7th. You can renew in person. Their offices are at the Baird Center on the second floor, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. You can also do so by mail. Just make sure you include all the required documentation with that application. For more information, you can contact the Parking Authority at 973-378-7715, extension 2037, or send an email to nrodriguez@southorange.org. Also, most of the entire board and most of our department heads and employees were down in Atlantic City last week for the League of Municipalities Conference. It was, as always, a great learning experience for us to not only meet and network with other local elected officials, but folks that work for the county, for the state, private sector, and obviously we also had a lot of fun down there, but it was a great chance for us to kind of see what was out there, learn about what other towns are doing, share some of our best practices. It's always great for us to be able to get out of South Orange and meet other folks and interface and kind of exchange information and knowledge. So that was last week. Also a reminder that this Saturday is Small Business Saturday. So if you don't already do all of your shopping in our downtown and supporting our local merchants, please consider doing so, especially on this Saturday. If you do have an American Express card, any stores that take American Express will give you a 10% discount when you go in and shop there. And a lot of the businesses downtown will be offering specials for Small Business Saturday. So please make sure to go out and support your local merchants, whether it's here in downtown South Orange or wherever you may live. Also, today is White Ribbon Day. The reason I'm wearing a white shirt, it is the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. This is a holiday that the United Nations observes, and it marks the assassination of 3 political activists from 1960 who were fighting for women's rights. So if you notice, like the Google homepage had a white ribbon on it today, and so many people actually clicked on it, it actually crashed the United Nations website. And so it's just one more way to bring awareness to that cause. So we do have a couple presentations this evening.
Mr. President, before you move on, I just want to remind people we got the email from Kate Schmidt that this year's annual tree lighting will take place on Saturday, December 7th at 5 p.m. in front of 76 South Orange Avenue. And she also noted the Village Alliance has plans throughout the afternoon in the lobby of the building, music, entertainment, gift wrapping, visits, and photos with Santa.
Great, thank you. So we do have a couple presentations. I'd like to first welcome up our Essex County Surrogate, Ted Stevens. Oh, you can come up here, yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
There we
Good
go.
evening.
I love it when I come to South Orange. I get such a warm welcome, and it's what I look forward to every year. This is my annual opportunity to come before you and give you my annual surrogates update, and I guess that's the bad news for the evening, which means that you're likely to see me again as we go on. So I want to give just an opportunity to tell people, and to also, I'm glad we have so many folks here for the community, from the community. I'm sure it's because they knew my presentation was coming up, but
Certainly.
I will be succinct nonetheless. But let me start by actually thanking you. If you're like me, I like your new digs, first of all. And this may fulfill a lifelong dream to, like me, to appear on the stage here in SOPAC. So thank you for helping me to accomplish that as well.
And thank you for being part of our dramatic performance.
This is it. I think in my case, I'm going to give you a little bit of the comedic portion of it, but that's okay. The Surrogates Court, as most people do not know what the Surrogates Court does. And as I campaigned for the office a couple of years ago, through the length and the breadth of the county, it became clear that there was a lot of misconceptions about what we do. It's a very important office, but somewhat obscure because just over the years, the name itself doesn't kind of lend people to knowing what we do. First and foremost, the Surrogates office really is a court. I'm a judge of the Surrogates Court, and the surrogate serves as the only elected judge in the state of New Jersey. Every county has a surrogate, and our primary duties are the probate of will estates, the administration of non-will estates, but also handle the very important functions of guardianship applications, adoptions, and also manage the intermingled fund for minors trust money, which totals about $40 million. So we have a lot of varied and very important things that do go through the court. But in all the instances that I mentioned, including adoptions, which if anybody's ever been a part of an adoption, you know it's generally a very joyous occasion. But even in that instance, kind of get over that last hurdle, cross that last T, takes a lot of just emphasis and just a lot of worry. And because an adoption normally is a very joyous occasion. In fact, I really dare say it's probably the only time you go to court when everybody in the courtroom is happy, including the judge, which is a very rare occasion. But even in that instance, people need a little TLC. And so our court provides that. We provide that primarily because we're a very experienced court. I have a flyer which I will leave with your staff, which just gives the entire surrogates staff. There are 13 of us, and fortunately, it's a very experienced staff. About 175 years of service combined for the members, including, I'd like to point out one young lady in the middle, Miss Doris Guy, who recently received a Teamwork Award from the county as she prepares to celebrate her 50th year working for Essex County. So she is truly a treasure and a compendium, a world of information that we need. Last year, I came before you and I wanted to put our mark on the Surrogates Court. We knew we were doing very well with experienced staff, but we could do better. And we're challenged, like you are, trying to do more with less, but there still were some opportunities. And last year we discovered one. We embarked upon our extended hours program, and it's been very successful since last May of 2012. On the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, the court is open an additional 2 hours. So between 4:30 and 6:30, you can be seen by staff. Come in with an appointment so that you don't have to take time off of work, be seen at a time certain, get in and out. And you also have the other very popular advantage, as we found out. It's the only time you can come to the city of Newark and get free parking because the employee lot is open. So that, of course, has helped to really drive a lot of business our way, and I think it does serve a valuable service by not requiring people to take time off of work to handle the important business. The other flyer that I pointed earlier is the announcement of our website, which we have launched for this year. It is a very interactive website. It has a lot of very important information about what the Surrogates Court does and introduces our staff, has a lot of frequently asked questions answered, and for attorneys, they find it particularly helpful because it allows you to download our forms directly from the website, fill them out online, print them out, and again, save time from having the form prepared in the surrogate's court, it can be done sent in advance so that it shortens your stay as well. I do caution you one thing as you go to our website, though, which is www.essexsurrogate.com. Sometimes, you know how your browser fills in, Mayor? You're very computer literate, I know you about that. The browser seems to fill in sometimes on its own. It may direct you to an adult website, which I have nothing to do with. So I'm just putting it, that's my public service announcement. Don't watch the children when they're trying to learn more about the surrogate's court. But it is, nonetheless, seriously, it's been very, very productive, and I think it's going to be a real benefit as well. We still have a couple of other items that we are looking for to improve the court. We have been for the last couple of years looking for a site, and possibly will open up a satellite office in the western part of the county to help alleviate those who have some difficulty coming to the city of Newark to have, so they don't have to do that. They'll be able to be seen there at a time certain and have the same services provided there as they can in the surrogate's court, which of course is located at the Hall of Records. So that's the sum and substance of my presentation for today. Unless you have any questions, it has been a whirlwind as I am about to finish my second year. It's been very rewarding, though, and we're doing a lot of great work, and I just wanted to share some of the things that are available with the public and with you, members of council and mayor. So if you have any questions, I'm available for that.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to leave the items that I talked about, also a couple little trinkets. I know it's almost the holiday season, so I'll leave a couple of those with the clerk. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
again.
you.
Trinkets. What kind of trinkets?
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask Chief Markey to come up, and we're going to hear a couple words from Chief Markey before we consider the resolutions this evening. A couple brief words.
I'm going to be extremely brief. Thank you. As you know, this is my last public meeting as your chief, and I would like to just say some brief words about some of my experiences and with the village employees. For the past 38 years, I've had a long, rewarding career as a firefighter with the South Orange Fire Department. I know that the South Orange Fire Department is a small department amongst our peers. We have much larger departments surrounding us. Larger doesn't always mean better. I've had an opportunity to work with much larger departments during my career, and I can say that the firefighters in the South Orange Fire Department are the best of the best. Together, we've shared the heartache of loss of a life and the elation of saving a life. Day in and day out, I've witnessed their dedication and sacrifice to each other and the people of the village. They have been an inspiration to me. I've learned a lot from them. I hope I have represented them well. There is no greater satisfaction than the approval and support of these firefighters. It has been an honor to lead them over the past 15 years. I would like to thank my fellow firefighters for their camaraderie and support and wish them well. And I leave them with one phrase, and that's, be safe. Working for the village is a team effort. The fire department, along with the assistance of the South Orange Police Department, the South Orange Rescue Squad, DPW, Recreation, and the Village Hall employees have kept the village safe and make the village a great place to live. During various emergencies, the combined efforts of all of the village employees have prevented and minimized the possible injury and loss of life to the residents of the village. To all of these fine men and women, I say thank you. I would like to thank the current and former Board of Trustees for your confidence and continued support of your fire department. The fire department and the village have gone through many challenges over the years. Without your selfless commitment and dedication, we would not be where we are today. To all the village residents that I have come in contact with, I thank you for the opportunity to serve. With the help and assistance of the officers and firefighters of your fire department, I can leave with the comfort of knowing that the department is positioned well today and is ready to take on the challenges of the future. You are in very capable hands. We are here tonight to bring the fire department into the future. I am confident that the promotions that are being made tonight will serve the village well. I congratulate all these fine men. They have worked hard and are well deserving of their promotions. To Chief Shoemaker, Deputy Chief Coughlin, and Captain Denver, you're being given the responsibility of leading a great group of firefighters. I would have a couple of words of wisdom to you. I would encourage you to listen to them when making your decisions and to lead them well. Often, and this is my very few words to you, often the right decision is the hardest decision to make. I'm confident that you will be wise with your choices. The firefighters deserve nothing less. I wish you well with your new responsibilities. And that's the end of my remarks. I said I would be brief, and I am going to be brief.
Thank you.
At this time, I would request that President Torpe move the 3 resolutions on the promotions.
Thank you. And I do want to make sure that after we've completed the resolutions and swearings in, we all have the opportunity also to thank Chief Markey. So at this time, I'd like to ask for a motion. We have 3 different resolutions. Could you please read the first one by title? Ms. Smith?
Resolution 2013-270, a resolution appointing John Shoemaker to the position of Fire Chief in the South Orange Department of Public Safety Fire Force.
Okay, we have a motion.
I move. I second.
Moved by Trustee Levison, seconded by Trustee Rosner. Can we take the roll, please?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Collin?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
The board has passed Resolution 2013-270. Resolution 2013-271, a resolution appointing Peter Coughlin to the position of Deputy Chief in the South Orange Department of Public Safety Fire Force.
Have a motion?
I move.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Collin, seconded by Trustee Clark. We have the roll, please.
Trustee Collin?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
The board has passed Resolution 2013-271. Resolution 2013-272, a resolution appointing John Denver to the position of Captain in the South Orange Department of Public Safety Fire Force.
I move.
Moved by Trustee Davis Ford,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Rosner. We have the roll, please.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Collins?
Yes.
The board has passed Resolution 2013-272.
Thank you. And I'd like to ask each of our promoting officers to come up, and actually Chief Shoemaker, if you'd like to come up first, and we'll do each of the swearings in.
Do you stand?
Got your own. You did. Okay. Yep. Yeah, you can come on this side. Okay, raise your right hand. Yeah, raise your right hand. The whole thing would have been void. Have to do it all over again. Okay, so repeat after me. I, John Shoemaker,
I, John Shoemaker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the
United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as Fire Chief in the Department of Public Safety Fire
as
Force
Fire Chief in the Department of Public Safety Fire Force
for the Township of South Orange
for
Village,
the Township of South Orange Village,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
and that I will not use my office
and that I will not use my office
to grant preferential treatment
to grant preferential treatment
nor seek personal gain,
nor seek personal gain,
favor,
favor,
or advantage
or advantage
not available to the public.
not available to the public.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next, Peter Coughlin.
Neither will.
Raise your right hand. I, Peter Coughlin,
I, Peter Coughlin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey.
and that I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
and the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of the duties
all the duties
as Deputy Fire Chief in the Department of Public Safety Fire Force
as Deputy Fire Chief in the Department of Public Safety and Fire Force
for the Township of South Orange Village,
for the Township of South Orange Village,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
and that I will not use my office
I will not use my office
to grant preferential treatment
to grant preferential treatment,
nor seek personal gain,
nor seek personal gain,
favor,
favor,
or advantage
or advantage
not available to the public.
not available to the public.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Deputy Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
That's everybody.
I think this deserves to go. Yeah, really getting carried away.
John Denver?
Not sure.
We'll get him an eighth one.
Little man.
Raise your right hand. Place your left hand. I, John Denver,
I, John Denver,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established
to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
as Fire Captain in the Department of Public Safety Fire Force
as Fire Captain in the Department of Public Safety Fire Force
for the Township of South Orange Village,
for the Township of South Orange Village,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
and that I will not use my office
and that I will not use my office
to grant preferential treatment
to grant preferential treatment
nor seek personal gain,
nor seek personal gain,
favor,
favor,
or advantage
or advantage
not available to the public.
not available to the public.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Captain. Could I ask all of our new chief, deputy chief, and captain to come up for
It's an interesting question.
with the board as well?
I never saw it. Sorry, no.
Yeah, I think, yeah, it would be better than behind the table. Come on, go.
Yeah, why don't you guys come in the middle? All 12 people in front. Yeah, why don't we do one with two as well, right? Nobody complimented my song. All right. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Where is she?
And for those of us who thought a promotion would abuse the room.
So before we do continue, I do want to give a chance for some of my colleagues on the board here, if anybody would like to say a few words before we move on.
I'd like to say to Chief Markey, you did represent him well, very well. Thank you.
I would like to say that I fell in love with you and your whole family. Had an opportunity to meet your wife. I just love the way that you represented South Orange, that you were a subject matter expert, respected not just by other firefighters in New Jersey, but on a state level, and the incredible relationship you developed at that time with Congressman Pasquale, who represented South Orange, to bring resources and needs to us. And especially, I think it was last year, Pasquale's last parting gift, along with your assistance to provide grant funding for the new ladder truck that allowed the board as a whole to keep the municipal tax increase below 2%. So kudos to you, and we're going to miss you, but we're also very appreciative of the team that you built and leave behind, and the leadership that's stepping forward in your absence.
Jump in real quick. I'm so sad, Jeff, because I've always just had such a great deal of respect for you. For those of you in the audience, I met Chief Markey when I was a student at Seton Hall University, and at that campus, we take the fire chief pretty seriously. And I remember everybody getting quiet and saying, "That's the fire chief," and this was a few years after the Bolin Hall fire. I had such admiration for him as a student, then seeing how he was and how he ran his department as a resident in this community, and then getting to work directly with him as the Public Safety Committee Chair on this Board of Trustees. Jeff, there's no words that I think anybody can express to somebody who's given 38 years of service. We're going to miss you a lot, and golly gee, please enjoy that retirement, because you surely do deserve it.
I as well want to express my appreciation for Jeff's service and really have given service to this community, and wish him the best of luck. We'll miss you.
Yeah, congratulations, Chief, you know, and you were, I think, the first firefighter who was promoted right after I was elected, and got to see you grow as a chief, and did a great job, and it's been an honor to be on the board and have you all those years when I was chair of the Public Safety Committee and working with you all these years, and wish you the best of luck going forward.
And I want to echo the comments that my colleagues have offered this evening, and also offer my personal thanks in watching you represent not only your the firehouse, and our community at the September 11th ceremonies and recognition, and just how you carry yourself with your poise, and very much appreciate all the service you've given us.
I'd like to just again also congratulations, Chief, on your retirement. Thank you on behalf of the village for everything you did for the village. Thank you personally for all the time you spent with me, sharing your many, many years of experience, knowledge of the department, and just being a friend. And I wish you well in your retirement. For Chief Shoemaker, Deputy Chief Coughlin, and Captain Denver, congratulations, gentlemen. Look forward to working with you. And you have tough shoes to follow, but I'm sure you're up to it. So thank you.
I want to say just one word, too. I really learned how the chief drills down on topics under his jurisdiction. He and I together worked up the specification for that ladder truck, and that was an amazing experience, how the chief looked into every light, every switch, every specification was his, that he looked over so carefully so that he was absolutely certain he was going to get that piece of equipment delivered here that was going to serve the people of this village in the best way. And that was an amazing experience for me to see the level of detail that this man could deal with in that piece of equipment. Good luck, Chief.
So I'd like to also echo some of the comments that have been made. And you haven't heard, some of you were at Jeff's retirement party. Those were the really good stories we're all told, which we're not going to repeat here tonight.
Where's the police chief?
That's right. He's back there. He's ready.
Keep him away from the mic.
Yeah. But I do want to echo the sentiments and thank you for your leadership and what you've done, not only for us as a board to allow us to bring in the kind of budget stabilization that people kind of expect from us, but your leadership through very challenging times with the fire department. I've known you in a few different capacities related to the village, and seen you out on fire calls, late at night, early in the morning, and have had the real distinct pleasure and honor of getting to serve with you as the village president, as the OEM coordinator, and also just as a resident with my family still living in town. I know I feel safe with you at the helm, and all of our firefighters here at the fire department, and not just all the firefighters and the gentlemen that we got to promote tonight, but all the folks from our fire department, our police department, rescue squad, public works. We do have an amazing community of people who work for this town. You see that when there's a storm, when there's an emergency, everybody works so hard, works so incredibly well together. You hear kind of horror stories in some places where fire departments can't work with each other, or fire and police have some sort of tension. You don't see that here. Everybody is on the same team. And I think a lot of that had to do in part to your leadership, Jeff. So thank you for your years of service, and best of luck in your retirement. And congratulations to all the new folks that we were able to promote tonight. I think we're all very excited to work with all of you and the rest of the department. So thanks again. So you all are required to stay for the whole meeting, you realize, now that you're here. But we'll give people a minute or two if you'd like to kind of organize, assemble. If not, please feel free to stay for the whole meeting. And at this time, there we go. Really? So we'll just be back in about a minute or two. And then it's wireless. I think it's wireless or wireless one. So he's trying to pick it back up.
Wow, okay.
Just so you know.
I appreciate it. Yeah, he will.
He's speaking next. Thank you.
He said there's no excuse.
I got caught up in something.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Yeah, yeah.
It says can't hear anything live on it.
Don't worry, Howard's been going back and forth.
They are aware of the audio problems.
I thought they were here for us.
Howie, what would he do without you, Howie? You know you're my hero.
They did this.
He always minds you.
He was mine first. We're gonna fight over you, Howie.
Yeah.
Do you want to pass this back to
Why you look at it?
What's 3 minutes? Okay.
This is lucky.
Now for the
All right.
stylings
Are
of
we good to
Chief
go? Okay.
Take my wife, please.
All right, so at this time, I'd like to ask Chief Jim Schlell, South Orange Police Department, to come up. We asked Chief to be here tonight to give a brief update from the police department.
I knew you were speaking and emptied out the room, huh,
Oh,
Chief?
Bill Young just told the fire trucks outside, so we get along well. I was called here by Trustee Davis Ford, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, just to speak to you, give you a little update. There was a little bit of concern over some robberies that we had had. Just, and I spoke to Mayor Torpey after that, just to fill you in on a few numbers that we have. There truly is just a little bit of a spike in robberies. Last year, just to give you an idea, we had 31 last year. As of the end of the weekend, we're at 29. So, I mean, we've had numbers at the end of some years where we've had as many as high as 48. So I don't think there's a cause right now for some great concern. Some things I can fill you in on is we've had some thefts of tires from cars. We're working on that. We have a lead that we're following up on that. I do want to talk about some incidents that we had last weekend in the center of town. We had 3 incidents where people were punched in the face or something going around called the knockout. It looks like this is something maybe copying that. One promising thing that we have is to identify the person from Irvington involved in that, the person that was doing this, the same person. We have a warrant for that person's arrest. So that's something positive from that. If you have some questions for me, I can answer them for you. But I think the one thing that we just want to, I'm sorry, Davis, Trustee Davis.
I was wondering, it appears from what I've been reading, and I don't know if it's true, that there always seems to be a spike of robberies or muggings when a new iPhone comes out. And some of the solutions that was suggested, if the manufacturers just allow phones to be disabled, and once they were reported stolen, then the motivation for attacking people to take away their smartphones would be greatly reduced. What's your thoughts and opinions?
I would agree with that. I think the majority of these crimes are the proceeds are phones. I know in October, Director DeMayo from Newark was in the editorial page discussing just that fact, that the robberies, most of the times the proceeds are the phones. The phones are usually taken to bodegas in Newark or stores in Newark where they're wiped clean and given new numbers. I certainly think that the manufacturers of the phones could help us somewhat.
Down at the League of Municipalities, I met a key person from Verizon and had this discussion with him. And I'm going to, with the help of anybody who wants to join me, I discussed with him my concern regarding the phone companies and the vendors that are involved in some way with the phones of taking up an initiative to encourage the simple disablement of a phone so it cannot be wiped and reloaded up. And I would like to meet with you on that and have some discussion regarding it. And of course, anyone else who would be interested in that sort of initiative is welcome to join me.
Right, I would welcome being part of that. That would be a great idea.
Yeah, I think that that's a real easy solution, just to simply make the phones not usable.
Right.
And nobody's going to mug someone for a phone they can't use.
Right. And I could yeah.
I was going to say there are a couple things that people can do. I mean, I don't want to be a damper, but I mean, people aren't going to be happy with, people want to sell their phones after they finish using them. You can get like, a fair amount of money for old versions of phones. But at the end of the day, right, there's a couple things that people can do. One is people can install software on the phone that allows them, if they do get stolen or lost, they can use GPS, and you guys have found some success with that. Is that correct?
Well, I'll tell you, we have a lot of success with any type of electronic device. When you have a computer, unfortunately, sometimes up at Seton Hall, computers are taken, or anybody's computer, even in a home. We've actually tracked from a burglary at a home. When they put tracking devices on it, we've arrested burglars a short time after with the tracking device on them.
So you would recommend, and I know the South Orange Police Department has done a little bit of kind of PR about this in the past, but of getting people to download the free apps that are available that allow things to be tracked.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
But no, I'm not talking about that the phones could not be resold. That only they would be disabled only if they were reported stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be put in because you have people at all different skill levels. Even if they get a smartphone, there's some people who are technically challenged. And until it's really well known and promoted out that if a phone is reported stolen, it's automatically disabled without anyone having to do anything, I think it would be an easy solution and a very effective way to go about it.
And I think also, right, as far as some of the, you said that you're following up on some leads as far as thefts of wheels from cars, but people can also purchase wheel locks, at any auto parts store or anything like that. That's correct.
You can get wheel locks for about $40 to $50 if you choose to do so at any auto body store, auto parts store. There, right.
And you had mentioned, we had spoken a little bit last week and the week before about some of these incidents, that there seemed to be a little bit of a spike in the area in Essex County right now.
I think overall, what we do is we coordinate, we get a report every day from Newark, we get a report from the county as well that comes out. Also, something called the Route 21 Corridor Report that we see. There's a spike. Unfortunately, some of the neighboring communities around us experience very high crime rates. Newark has probably 1,500 robberies. They're up to 94 homicides. So that's one of the challenges that we face here in South Orange, is to remain diligent and try to keep maybe some of the criminal element from surrounding communities from coming into here. One thing we've done is we've increased our patrols on the weekend in marked and unmarked presence.
You do an excellent job.
Yeah, thanks. I think the guys work pretty hard at doing that. We have manageable numbers. I'm not happy with any crime that happens, but we try to do the best we can with that. We arrested an individual today that held up a store in town and caught him in Linden.
Chief, do you have any recommendations for the residents who may be tuning in? The press has done a pretty good job of covering crime, making people aware of what's happening in the community. What would you tell the average resident who's watching to keep themselves and their families safe?
Well, one thing I'd like to say, just in general in South Orange, you are safe. The police department's there for you all the time, and always, if you see something, I mean, it's a corny thing, you see it all the time, you see something, say something, but it's really not. If you have a gut feeling and you think something wrong, always call us. Our response time is excellent. Yet we have a neighborhood watch that's, I believe, is second to none. Get involved in that. We get the word out through Janine Buckner in town. She does neighborhood watch. Get involved with that. If you think there's something going on, give us a call. We'll be there. And if you feel something is wrong, you're probably right. And give us a call.
That's an excellent point about the neighborhood watch, that she oversees several groups, because I've been reading some of the success you've had in catching someone breaking in or whatever. It was because a neighbor was observant and made a call to you, and you were able to.
And we have great success with that. It's a workforce multiplier for us, because we could talk tomorrow about hiring police, but at public safety, but it's a workforce multiplier for us. It really does. We get a lot of success from that.
Great. So just a reminder again, if folks should definitely think about downloading the app that helps you. I mean, it's a great thing to do just in case you lose your phone or computer anyway, just on your own. And also, please, if you're interested in working with Neighborhood Watch, you can reach out to any of us. We'll connect you to Janine Buckner at Neighborhood Watch. Like the chief said, like some of my colleagues have said, that is the best thing that you can do to help give the police information that actually leads to the arrest of some of these individuals. And the more that we can do to get the word out there, and I think we do an excellent job of that in this town already, and the police department does a phenomenal job of having a reputation of catching people. And the more that we can get that out there, the better. And so if people do have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to us as well. And Chief, we thank you for your diligence, for putting the extra officers on at some of the times of night, times of day that you found some of the incidents spike. And we definitely appreciate you keeping us all updated on what's going on.
Okay, thanks for your support.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Okay, at this time, I would like to open the meeting up for public comments. I don't know if we have a sign-in sheet. Oh, nobody signed up. Is there anybody who wishes to speak at this time? Please come forward. Okay, seeing as there are no members of the public who wish to speak, I'd like to move on to the approval of minutes.
Minutes for September 9th, 2013. This is for the special and conference meeting agendas, agenda meeting minutes.
Okay, unless there's any comments, so I have a motion. Okay, moved by Trustee Levison, seconded by Trustee Davis Ford. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you.
September 23rd, regular meeting minutes.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Trustee Schnall,
Second.
seconded by Trustee Column. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. This time I'd like to move on. We have one ordinance on second reading and public hearing tonight.
Ordinance 2013-18. An ordinance to amend the Valley and Third Streets redevelopment plan to amend and clarify the definition of live-work units.
Thank you. This is for the Valley and Third redevelopment project. There was some contention, debate, discussion in the planning board, I guess is where it started, around what the definition of live-work units would be. And I believe I have the correct wording here, which is that the permitted uses will be professional service offices, arts and media production studios, gallery spaces, arts and crafts production, and accessory retail directly or anything directly related to those uses. Medical offices and personal services are not permitted. And so those are only on the, how many, it's less than a dozen units.
I think it's four.
4 units, yeah, I thought it was maybe 6, yeah, that are on 3rd Street, on the Third Valley project. So at this time, I'd like to open the ordinance up for public hearing. So if there's anybody who is here to speak about this ordinance in particular, please come forward. Seeing as there are no members of the public who wish to speak about this ordinance, I will close the public hearing, and unless there's any further board discussion or questions, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I move the ordinance.
Moved by Trustee Column.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Davis Ford. Could we have the roll, please?
Trustee Davis Ford? Okay. Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Column?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Abstain.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
The board to pass ordinance 2013-18 on second reading.
Thank you. And we have an ordinance that we had tabled for first reading.
Yes. Is there a motion to lift ordinance 2013-20 from the table? This is an ordinance to amend the Central Business District redevelopment plan.
Can you just restate what that includes? I just want to make sure I remember.
I'm sorry?
This ordinance, if I could, Village President, you'll recall this is the ordinance that looked to add some additional permitted uses in the Central Business District on streets that were not on South Orange Avenue. There was a overall redevelopment, rewrite of the redevelopment plan that was presented relatively late in the process, so I think there was a concern that the board had not had a full opportunity. I did attend, as did the member trustees, the Planning and Zoning Committee. We met with the planner last Friday. We reviewed that amendment. I think the discussion at the last meeting was, if not this, then have a different ordinance on, but the consensus was that we were close enough that we would have this ready for the December 9th meeting, and when we looked at the calendar, it couldn't be referred to the planning board until after that date anyway, so if we introduced something less tonight, we'd ultimately wind up sort of rescinding that at the next meeting and going with the full plan. I think if, so the idea would, I think, be for this to remain on the table till December 9th.
Okay.
Is that the understanding?
That's it. That's fine.
That covers it.
Okay, so we have a couple other ordinances on first reading.
Yes. Ordinance, excuse me. A moment, please. All right. Ordinance 2013-22, an ordinance to request the County of Essex to lower the speed limit from 35 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour on a portion of Valley Street from the border of Maplewood Township to South Arch Avenue.
Thank you. I think this was discussed in our last conference agenda.
Yes, I brought this up during the last meeting. Just brief recap, Maplewood had already changed their section of Valley Street, and so we on Scotland are already at 25, and they were at 25, so we only had a few blocks of 35, so it naturally made sense to go ahead and take our speed limit down to 25.
Okay. Unless there's any further questions or comments, could I have a motion?
I move.
Moved by trustee Column, seconded by trustee Levison. Could we have the roll, please?
Roll call, trustee Collin?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
The board has passed ordinance 2013-22 on first reading. Ordinance 2013-23, an ordinance to amend certain sections of the land use portion of the South Orange Code to further define when a portable garbage bin is permitted in the public right-of-way.
Thanks. Yes, we discussed this on our last conference agenda as well. Unless there's any further, trustee Clark, did you want to?
Yeah, I just had one question, which was, what business in town represents the exception that this would be necessary for? Is there a particular section?
It's just
of town?
clarifying the code as it exists right now, that the first step is code enforcement, issue a permit, and if in fact it's shown that the dumpster cannot fit on the property, then it goes to the police.
I guess my question is there a particular street or section of town where that is a problem because there's funky lots or something like that, or the way that?
Well, this is like largely for residents that'll have like a drop-off, roll-off dumpster to clean out the house. And if they can't fit it in their driveway, it's isolated. It's not a recurring commercial dumpster.
Okay.
But it's like a homeowner has a dumpster dropped off. If they can't get it in their driveway's too steep, too whatever, and they want to put it in the street, they got to go through the process, make sure the police that it's safe, lit, marked, whatever.
Okay.
And we did add some things that you need to precaution.
The safety.
Yeah, for safety reasons.
Okay, we have a motion. Moved by trustee Levison.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
So we
opposed?
need a roll
A
call
roll
for the
call.
ordinance?
Oh, we do, thank you.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Collin?
Yes.
The board passed ordinance number 2013-23 on first reading.
That was my attempt at pushing through an ordinance on garbage bin locations.
Ordinance 2013-24, an ordinance to amend the code of the Township of South Orange Village, Section 153-33, Schedule I, with respect to parking on Western Drive North and Western Drive South.
So this is an ordinance that we've considered several times before. The last iteration of this, we had gone out and asked both the chiefs maybe to look at where they needed parking to be removed from to allow people to safely get around either loops on those streets.
Yeah, we took this through and my first question was, I couldn't remember whether the first Western Drive ordinance was tabled or if we voted it down. So we might have to just check that, and if it's still on the table at the next meeting, go ahead and strike it. This is a new one. We took it through the South Orange Transportation Advisory Committee. It ran through the Public Safety Committee. It went through our village engineer, and finally onto our legal committee and our village council. So we're ready to rock and roll.
I think the other one was voted down. If I recall correctly, it was voted down.
It was eliminating one-side parking throughout the
Right.
entire street.
Yes.
This is a little bit more staggered so that the areas of most concern for emergency vehicles, it wouldn't be on both sides, and it still wouldn't eliminate it for the entire roundabout.
Okay. Do you have a motion?
I move.
Moved by trustee Column.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Rosner. Could we have the roll, please?
You sure?
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
He's present.
He's present.
Actually, he's
Okay.
not.
He's not present, but he said yes.
I think she said Levison.
Oh, she did.
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
I was saying that for him. Yes.
Trustee Small?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Cullum?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ward?
Yes.
The board has passed ordinance 2013-24 in first reading.
I move that ordinance 2013-22, 2013-23, and 2013-24 be scheduled for second reading and final passage at the December 23rd, 2013 board meeting, and a public hearing be held at that time for the reference ordinances. The acting village clerk is authorized to take necessary actions to publish public notice for such hearings.
Thank you. Motion by trustee Davis Ford. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Rosner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. The next is a resolution that is on the table.
Resolution 2013-246, a resolution selecting option for a new rescue squad facility and authorizing the preparation of plans and specifications consistent therewith.
Thank you. And I'll ask Mr. Lewis to just elaborate on this briefly in a moment. But we're still working on getting the costs down. I did have a couple conversations with some members of the Development Committee and the chair of the Development Committee. What we're going to be doing, we've done a couple different things. One is we have gone through, I guess, some architects, contractors, folks who have done work for the village before to get a separate price, a separate cost estimate on what we're looking at, and that estimate did come in lower than the one that we have been getting through the process that we've been going through. And so we're going to explore that a little bit further for the time being, and also bring some of the questions that we have, basically as far as what kind of things can we do to further reduce the cost of the building. We're going to get back together with the project managers and discuss that as well with the Development Committee. There are a couple members on the committee who do have some great expertise in historical buildings and aesthetics and design and architecture and site work, and basically, you know, if we can get any ideas on how to bring the cost down from the group, we're definitely interested in doing that. You know, we've gone back and talked to the rescue squad and multiple kind of, you know, throughout these iterations of figuring out, well, you know, what did the rescue squad, you know, need? What did the village need? What do we really need? What can we eliminate? What can we reduce? And we're starting to ratchet it down. Part of the problem is, you know, we're kind of working from a point where, you know, by selecting the location on Sloan Street, you know, we all kind of knew that that was going to mean that the costs were going to be a little bit higher because we can't basically put in, you know, an aluminum box next to literally the building that is like our #1 most visited landmark, which is the firehouse. So we have to put something next to it, you know, that is somewhat appreciative as far as from an aesthetic standpoint. We do think we're going to be able to get there, you know, to maybe not under the budget, but very, very close to it enough that, you know, we'd be able to make a decision whether we want to fund it or not. So again, we're going to discuss some of these questions and different pieces of the design with the development, some of the members from the Development Committee. We're going to go back to some of our other sources and see if we can't get them involved in the process in a way that would actually have this be built or priced out by a different party. And so between those couple different options, I think we're pretty confident that we're going to be able to pretty quickly bring this down to a point where we can bring you guys a proposal and actually, ask for approval to move forward with that building, in the next meeting or two. Mr. Lewis, do you want to expand on any of that or add anything there?
No, I think you pretty accurately, it's been a very deliberative, diligent process involving, initially the team of the design professionals, and I think, appropriately you start with them first. They come up with a design, you go back, ask them to go back to the drawing board. They have done that. They have, realized some value engineering, brought the cost down. At the same time, we did have an opportunity through our construction official, Tony Grenzi, connected us with a very experienced contractor who knows the area, has done work for the village, done work for Seton Hall, worked in the area. He was gracious enough to go through really basically all the same documents and come up with a cost estimate that was a little more favorable. As the village president mentioned, we kind of feel like we're at a point in the process now that we do want to tap into the available expertise that we have on the development committee. So I know the village president has made that contact. We're going to try and get something set up. And I'm confident that the way it's looking, we will come to a point in the relatively near future where we'll have the two different options. And it may be a situation that, when we always talked about the discussion of the budget, it had not contemplated the additional space for sheltering, and it was only sort of an opportunity when we looked at, and you looked at the footprint, and well, if you're going to build this much foundation for the bays to house the vehicles, you have that space above, might this be an opportunity where you can add some additional value at a cost that you could not certainly build a shelter on another location. So my expectation is that I think we would probably bring in sort of scheme one, perhaps at or under the budget originally contemplated, which wasn't really the budget. It's more the developer's contribution for pulling it out of the redevelopment project. And I would note in doing that, in addition, by pulling it out, we will dramatically reduce the interim headquarters time for the rescue squad, which would have some cost savings and inconvenience to the squad. We also sort of avoided what was sort of a logistical oddity of having a rescue squad built into an apartment building. And importantly, we also picked up an additional 15 public parking spaces. So when we look to get a surplus to try and, we've talked about possibly, creating some more plaza space downtown, and where can we relocate those parking spaces, that additional 15 parking spaces that we got, I think all needs to be factored into the equation. But I think we will get there, and then we may have a choice for a little bit more money. Do we want to take advantage of this opportunity and get the shelter space or not? But I think we'll be in a position to present that within probably the next 2 meetings.
Okay, are there any questions about any of that?
No. I think it's a great idea to work with the development committee. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah. No, we're at a point where it makes sense. Do we have a resolution for second reading?
Yes. Resolution 2013-260. This is a resolution approving South Orange Village Center Alliance fiscal year 2014 operating budget and setting a public hearing. This is the second reading for this resolution. And
So is this setting the public hearing, or is tonight the public hearing?
tonight's the public hearing. This is the second reading.
Okay. So then at this time, I'd like to open the meeting up. If there's any members of the public who wish to comment on the Village Center Alliance's budget.
Correct me if I'm wrong, was the budget ever posted to the website for the public to view before coming to the public hearing?
It was published in the record transcript and also in the villages, in Village Hall on the bulletin board.
Okay, so
I'm
it
not
has been
sure if
sufficiently
it was
noticed?
posted. Yes.
All the legal notice requirements, and I'm
Yeah.
going to look to say, well, I don't know if I'll get you an answer quick enough whether it was on the website. It was last year, and I suspect it was this year, but I just would have to verify that. But the legal publication requirements were done.
Yeah. I couldn't remember whether or not it was on
And
the
just to
website.
recap, again, this is their budget. The village contribution remains the same. They have actually increased the assessment slightly on the member properties, and I think most of their programmatic stuff is largely the same, just to summarize.
I guess it's just a procedural question then. A resolution for second reading, is that normal?
Yeah, it's unusual. It's the specific statute governing special improvement districts require, it provides for you to adopt it by resolution, but then it does require a two-step process in a public hearing. So this is
Okay.
the only time you'll see that you'll have two shots at a resolution.
I mean, the point being that this is not really an ordinance,
Yeah.
but it is also a budget, and budgets usually require 2 readings in a public hearing.
And just to summarize, we also saw Matt Glass, who came here, I guess it was 2 or 4 weeks ago. It was 4 weeks ago, and who came and walked through his plan. We also met the new executive director a couple weeks ago, Bob Zuckerman, and it's looking very good.
Yep. Great. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion.
I move.
Moved by Trustee Schnall.
A second.
Seconded by Trustee Rosner. Could we have the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Column?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
The board has passed Resolution 2013-260 on second reading.
And can we just make sure that we clean up the language, just eliminate the "and setting public hearings" for the final resolution that gets posted to the website?
That was the original, was that the original title, Kevin?
I mean, that might have been the title on first reading,
On first
to
reading,
set the
yeah.
public hearing for tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we just passed it, so there's no
Yeah.
further action required after this.
Okay, why don't we move on to our consent agenda?
Yes. Resolution 2013-273, resolution granting raffle license 1240 to Our Lady of Sorrows Church. Resolution 2013-274, resolution in support of the League of Municipalities, filing of an amicus brief with the Supreme Court in support of a position that the statute of limitations in NJSA 2A:14-1 does not apply to the Spill Act, NJSA 58:10-23.11 et seq. Resolution 2013-275, resolution affirming appointment of Paul Casey as mechanic in the South Orange Department of Public Works. Resolution 2013-276, a resolution appointing Michael Candarella to the position of Assistant Supervisor in the South Orange Department of Public Works. Resolution 2013-277, a resolution affirming appointment of Chris Holland as a mechanic in the South Orange Department of Public Works. Resolution 2013-278, a resolution approving amendment to contract with Revex Contracting Company to include Edgewood Terrace and to extend time for completion. Resolution 2013-279, resolution setting municipal prosecutor salary effective November 1st, 2013. Resolution 2013-280, a resolution to adopt the 2014 municipal holiday calendar. Resolution 2013-281, a resolution granting raffle license number 1241 to the South Mountain School PTO for an on-premise merchandise raffle. Resolution 2013-282, resolution approving an interlocal services agreement to provide IT services to Maplewood Township. Resolution 2013-283, resolution accepting proposal of RADCA, Inc. to provide CAD/RMS implementation services. Resolution 2013-284, resolution approving addendum to contract with Battaglia Associates to provide CFO services.
Thank you. I do want to start just one comment. I know there's going to be a couple others. On 282, the interlocal services agreement, Mr. Lewis or Trustee Levison, you could expand on this if you'd like, but just briefly, this is a really excellent step for us to be able to take in providing basically Maplewood's IT department through ours. So I think it's been well known and established that we have a fairly excellent IT department here, and doing a lot of innovative things, have a great IT infrastructure. And what this interlocal services agreement will allow us to do is hire another person in our IT department to be able to do help desk ticketing and IT support services for Maplewood, and also start to share some of the costs of providing IT overall. So we're going to be able to provide them with the IT services that they had, while also improving our ability to provide IT services in general, investing in an infrastructure that can benefit not only South Orange but also Maplewood. So this is something that will not only not cost us anything, but in the long term can actually generate some revenue for us. And hopefully this is the first of many more things where we've identified a department or service that we do a really great job of doing here in South Orange, and finding a way to generate revenue out of that by providing that service to another local government. So it's a great way. People talk about shared services all the time, and people sometimes use it as kind of an empty, well, everybody should share services. Well, this is an incremental way for us to do that. So we're really excited about that. I think we're all very confident that we're going to be able to provide Maplewood with really high quality IT services, and I think they're excited for this agreement as well. Is there anything that either of you guys want to add about that?
Well, it is a first step of, I hope, a lot more into the future. We've built out a great infrastructure.
Microphone.
And still building it out. And hopefully this is just the beginning of a lot of services that we could, in what's been defined in the state as shared services, that the more and more of services that we can provide to other municipalities, just as much as we've been sharing or going to other municipalities for some of the services that we have. In fact, we have another, further down, another one which is an outsourced service that is being provided to us. Barry?
No, I'd just echo the thoughts. I think it's a great first step. It's a testament to, I think, what we've built here, and I can't take credit because it was underway in terms of IT and IT infrastructure, a lot of it under Finance and IT Chair Levison's leadership, together with Stan Wilkinson, our director. We really have an excellent product to offer. Maplewood had a need. It's just another great partnership with Maplewood, and I think one that we anticipate can grow and we can become a real leader in the area.
Yeah, and it is definitely worth echoing that without Trustee Levison or Stan Wilkinson in IT, without either of them putting the work that they do into the IT department over the past X number of years, we wouldn't be at the place where we can offer this to people. Thanks.
Just a little housekeeping, just.
It's IT.
ITE is, so just
It's
take.
just a typo.
Okay.
That's
I
Barry's
understand.
spelling.
I just.
Can we remove 284 from consent agenda?
I was going to address that. The 284 you'll see is identified as a resolution approving addendum to contract with Battaglia Associates. I do have the contract, unfortunately, was not really able to finalize with the provider. As you know, Battaglia provides our accounting services now. We've reached the terms of an agreement, and we were down to kind of just finally dotting the I's, crossing the T's today, so it was obviously too late. I'll review that final version with Trustee Levison as Chair of Finance and with Mr. Battaglia and get it on board. Essentially, they have licensed CFOs on staff, will be incorporated in the contract. They will be assuming that function. This will be an addendum to their existing contract, all of which will end concurrently August 31st, 2014. So we will be in the relatively near future having to go out for RFP again, but this was, as you know, our existing CFO agreement ends at the end of the year, so this provides, if nothing else, an immediate stopgap through August 2014, and certainly we have a great relationship with Battaglia, and if we go out for RFP again, I'm sure there will be an attractive candidate again. But so we should have this, again, I'll finalize that with Trustee Levison and Battaglia and Associates, and we'll definitely have this on for the next meeting.
Mr. Lewis or Trustee, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to ask one question, Barry. Could you elaborate, maybe Steve will want to do it, on how the tenure works with this contract?
Well, generally with a CFO, tenure would not be acquired until after serving a full term. So there isn't an immediate concern. But the way we have endeavored to address it in this contract, it would never come into play because of they would end, but we have set it up where the CFO they will provide, because under the statute we actually have to name an individual as an employee CFO. The salary will be nominal, and the bulk of the consideration will be under the contract, so that if the contract is not renewed or not extended, then the individual clearly would not continue as the CFO and do all that work for the nominal salary. So we're comfortable that adequately protects
Well,
us.
in fact, he is a CFO in another municipality, and it's a shared service agreement.
Is another possibility, right?
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis, Trustee Levison, did you want to speak about 283 at all? I know that's a project that you guys have both
Yes.
spent quite a lot of time on.
Yeah, I think most of you have been involved, and it's been probably a year or two process that we've been doing the groundwork to replace the CAD and RMS, Computer-Aided Dispatch Records Management System program at the police department, which is grossly outdated and breaks, and we really need to move into the 21st century. We did previously obtain estimates and budget and actually appropriated a total of $220,000 for the project. We went out for RFPs, committee, including Trustee Levison from IT, Trustee Collum from Public Safety, the police chief, the police captains, myself, Stan Wilkinson, really vetted the proposals that we got. We also had a consultant from NJIT review it and come up with their recommendation. And we have selected a vendor that we intend to, at the next meeting or two, actually move forward with the purchase of the software suite. But in conjunction with the software, we needed somebody to implement it and oversee the training, the implementation. To that end, we received a proposal and met with an individual, the company that's online here. It's under a state contract. He has a wealth of experience implementing these type of programs. And one of the important parts, and that's why we want to get him on first, is he also helps negotiate the contract with the vendor to make it an even better position. But overall, I think what's important to note is that the overall, with the consultant, with the software and everything else, is still going to be approximately $50,000 less than what we originally budgeted and appropriated. So.
But he will act as the project manager for the implementation of the software.
Right.
Great. Are there any other questions or comments on any of the consent agenda items?
Yeah, I have one question on 278, the contract amendment with Reivex Contracting. For one, I guess it's happy news that we were, the roads weren't as bad as we thought, so we did have some money left over, and thank you for being proactive and moving that on to another street. My question is, the completion date for Edgewood Terrace was pushed out to May 31st. Is that based upon weather?
Absolutely. They won't be able to pave because it's too cold out. So, right. And again, that was I can't take credit. Credit for that goes to Sal Renda, our engineer. The opportunity rose. We were very fortunate when they milled off all the paving. The concrete base was in infinitely better shape than they thought it was going to be in. So the budget and the contract had a pretty large allowance for rebuilding and or repairing that concrete base that was not necessary. So it was twofold. I think the contractor was going to wind up coming up short. He was going to get hurt in the deal. And Sal, I think to his credit, saw an opportunity. Edgewood is right there in the same neighborhood. It's the same sort of age, the same concrete base. The contractor was amenable, so we had an opportunity to really just, make the street that much nicer for that many more residents. And even adding this in, it will still leave a bunch of money on the table from that contract. So.
I move the consent agenda.
Okay, moved by Trustee Collum.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Levison. Do we have the roll, please?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Trustee Reisner?
Yes.
Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Collum?
Yes.
Trustee Davis-Ward?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
The board has approved the consent agenda.
Thank you. Next is the approval of bills. Trustee Levison.
Yeah, I move that the bills list, which has been previously distributed to the board for their review.
I second.
Okay, moved by Trustee Levison, seconded by Trustee Davis-Ford. Could we have the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Schnall?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Collin?
Yes.
Trustee Davis-Ford?
Yes.
Trustee Levison?
Yes.
Trustee Rosner?
Yes.
Board has approved the bills list.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting up for public comments. If there's anybody from the public who wishes to speak. Seeing as there are no members of the public who wish to speak, before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I do want to, all right, there's none.
Yes, there is. I just want to make a comment.
Okay. So we'd like to schedule our first budget workshop for the board, and we were looking at December
12th. No, I'm sorry. Yes.
December 16th. Okay.
16th.
The Historic Preservation Commission is at night, but we're having a little trouble finding another time. What's that?
12th's the party.
Yeah, right. We don't want to do the budget then. Can everybody do the 16th? It's a Monday,
What time were you looking at starting?
7:30?
7:30.
7:30. 7:30.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Cool. So it should be quick, just a initial presentation. Everybody's good for that?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do that. If you guys could make sure to get the notice together for that meeting.
Where will we be meeting?
Sorry?
Where will we meet?
Where? Oh, in the conference room, 7 to 6. Yeah. Okay, Trustee Davis Ford, you had a comment?
Yeah, just real quick, I noticed driving up and down South Orange Avenue, the holiday lighting, which I really like, is very simple. It's just a circle of, I guess, Christmas lights, holiday lights around the fixtures, but there are so many of them that are out, that are not working. I counted at least 4 to 6 of them that are not working. So if someone could address that. 2 of them that are out in front of Reservoir Restaurant, and then another group is out further up past Dunkin' Donuts, probably near just before 76 on South Orange Avenue. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Moved by Trustee Collins, seconded by Trustee Reisner. All in favor?
Aye.